This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yes, let's get into it. Manny, how you doing, baby?
Doing good. Oh, how are you?
I can't complain, man. I guess the Canes got themselves lots of gifts under the tree, huh? Is that what it looks like?
They sure did. They got themselves a really good offensive line class. 6 guys, including a former starter, 2-year starter at Alabama through the transfer portal. 2 of the best offensive tackles in the country. So for Mario, where it always begins is the offensive line. So they really addressed needs there. I thought they got some really good defensive linemen. They got some excellent edge rushers. Ruben Bain is probably one of the best players to come out of Dade County in the last 10 years, and he's part of this class. They got some good linebackers. Francisco Mauigo, who is a starter, put up some really good analytics over at Washington State. Started 11 games, third leading tackler over there. Got him through the portal. So I think, up front, they got a lot of good pieces. I think they still need to get some cornerbacks. They're hoping Cormani McLean joins the class, the 5-star commitment from Lakeland. Different issues there with that story, but I think, all in all,
Deion Sanders getting in the way there.
Well, I think Deion Sanders and potentially other issues. I think all of this NIL stuff, right? When you're the number 2 player in the country, you can you can ask for things, right, and hopefully receive them. And I think I think initially he was hoping to enroll early. I don't think he has the test score to do that. From what I've heard from different people. So, can always wait to sign until February, right? And enroll in the summertime. I think, his allegiances stay with Miami. I think he wants to come to Miami. But, when you're the number 2 player in the country and you got a lot of people coming at you,
it doesn't sound like he wants to come to Miami. Just sounds like he's using Miami as the best offer that Ruiz has put out there, and he's just hoping somebody else beats it. And so if Colorado or Hawaii beats it, he's off and running. He sounds to me like a mercenary, nothing else.
Well, a lot of these guys are. I mean, let's face it. This is what we see in the NFL. What we see in the NFL every single year with free agency and the best players has always happened at the collegiate level, right? You always go to whoever's got the biggest paycheck for you, whatever the best situation is.
Okay.
And
all right. But I don't want to hear that, he's got this love for Miami. He's got the love for the cash, bro. That's
well, you could have both nowadays. I think, I think for the kid, you ask him personality wise, who he gets along with, what coach he wants to play for. He wants to play for DeMarcus Van Dyke. That's his guy. But there's other factors, and these kids, I think, they all want to cash in and make their money, because you never know if you're going to get drafted or what happens to your career.
I'm with you there. I get that. Now, Mario said they're not done, and you said now that they still got to get corners. And I know outside of McLean here, give me what else is any other names? What else are you hearing? What is Mario talking about?
Well, he mentioned specifically at the press conference defensive tackle and wide receiver, an outside wide receiver. They signed 2 really good slot guys out of the high school ranks. But I do know that they've been kicking the tires on some outside receivers. One of them is a guy who played for him at Oregon, a 6'5" receiver. I know that as far as the cornerback position, there's a kid out of the Big Ten whose name hasn't dropped yet on any websites or any recruiting sites that I know of, but that I'm not reporting for a reason, because it's kind of going through the process now. But there's guys that they have that they're working on, and guys that they're hoping enter the portal. And that's why I keep, I've told you many times, every time I come on the show, it's a slow drip. It depends on when these guys enter the portal, if they enter the portal, and then, what kind of NIL deals are worked out for them to come here. It's just the way business is done now in college football. So we will see what happens. But those are the 3 main positions of need. I sat there, I broke down the roster yesterday. I counted 82 guys on scholarship so far. counting the kicker and punter, the Aussie punter that they just picked up. So they've got 3 spaces. But here's what I'll tell you, and everybody else, don't worry about the scholarship numbers. They'll run off who they've got to run off to get to that 85 number and make sure that they get everything that they need. But I would say, looking at this roster right now, they need at least one more cornerback with starting experience. I think they're going to get him out of the Big Ten. I think they're going to get an outside receiver, preferably with experience. And then they're probably going to get 1 or 2 more defensive tackles, at least.
How much have they done? Because you've mentioned already some of those people, but if they're going to win, they're going to win at the lines, O-line and D-line. How many of those guys are part of this class? Because obviously that's where they really need to change their ways, bro.
Well, you got 11 right now. You got 6. You got
11?
6 offensive line. You got 6 offensive linemen and 5 defensive linemen. And like I mentioned, they're going to add another defensive tackle. So that's 12 new faces on the line of scrimmage. And I can tell you, body-wise, size-wise, I mean, he's not getting small dudes anymore. The days of the undersized linemen at Miami are over, and that's where you have to give him credit. Now, yes, you got the kid from Alabama who's going to help you right away. Yes, you've got the 2 5-star offensive tackles, but as you know, and we all know, we've covered this sport a long time, it's very hard for true freshmen to come in right away, right, and play right away. And I've been saying.
So we got another year of Zion again. Is that what it is? He's playing or not playing?
It could be. It could be some of Zion. It could be that as the season progresses, as these kids, it never happens easy, right? It never just the kid walks in day 1 and he starts right away at left tackle and he starts right away at right tackle. The other thing I just said this on my podcast that I recorded an hour and a half ago, that a lot of these kids end up having to have surgery when they get here. And that's part of the delay in this process, because these kids play through injuries. They don't get the medical care that they're supposed to need at the high school level, right? They tear things, and then when they come to Miami, they do these physicals, and they're like, yeah, guess what? You need to have shoulder surgery. Hey, guess what? Your ankle's screwed up. You need to have ankle surgery. So all of those things prevent the smooth, easy transition. And that's why sometimes guys don't play right away. Look what happened to Zion Nelson, right? Little minor surgery in July, right? Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back for the start. And what happens? He misses basically the whole year. So
lingers.
And that's why I tell people, we're going to win right away. This is the year. I'm like, no, I still don't think they're going to win this year, to be honest with you.
This is all transition here, of course.
Yeah, this remains a transition. Listen, there's 20. They got rid of 28 guys off this roster. Okay, 28.
It's a shitty team. It's a shitty team adding a whole bunch of young guys. How in the hell are they going to be good? It's like it's impossible. You got to give it. That's why I keep saying you got to wait till after year 3 to then assess. Okay, where you're at, because by the end of year 3, he's turned over pretty much 95% of that roster. With the transfer portal and all of that, you've gotten rid of it. You should have a feel by the end of year 3 that you're okay. You're headed in the right direction. You're good.
And I would say this. So like maybe the end of year 2 really is when you want to start to see it, because those freshmen that have gone through camp, if the majority of those guys, Mario said there's going to be 20 guys, potentially 20 new guys in here for spring. Okay, if all of them are healthy and all of them are practicing, that's 20 new bodies you didn't have, right? Okay. Well, let's say 15 of them or 16 of them are freshmen. You hope that by the end of the year, those freshmen are in your 2 deep and playing.
Yeah.
Because that'll tell you. If there's only 4 or 5 of them playing,
but many, you really won't find out about those freshmen until they play an entire year in year 3.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
And then by year 3, I think is when you have everybody knows the systems. Right. You should have enough depth, because by the end of year 3, you've got 2 classes behind that as depth or starters and all that. So I don't even want. I'm going to be a little bit more patient with Mario. I'm going to give him to the end of year 3 that I got to feel good about the team. I'm with you. Like in year 2, you got to at least start showing some signs. But year 3 is really the year that I'm going to measure and say I'm going to look at the way Mike Norvell's doing things. That after year 3, you're like, okay, dude, you're headed in the right direction, man. Yeah, this is looking good. good bowl game. You're
Mm-hmm.
developing a quarterback. You know, this is fundamentally really good because what they've done with Travis now sends a message to the next quarterback like, yo, man, I can go there and I can develop. That guy's been there for a few years and gotten better and better. And now he's a Heisman Trophy candidate this year. Okay, let me go to Florida State. Though they can bring me along. What Norvell's done this year was a really good selling year for his program. And that's what I want from Mario in year 3. What I saw from Norvell. That's all I'm asking for, at least, because that'll make me feel like you're catapulting yourself into, you know, being a really good program now, finally.
Yeah, I agree, and this is, again, he signed a 10-year contract, man. It's build it from the studs
Yeah.
all the way up correctly, and he's doing that. He laid the foundation with this class, and okay, so he still has some changes to do, right? Still has some coaching adjustments to make. There's a lot in this process, but if in year 3 these guys are where Florida State is, coming off a 9-3 season, and feeling really good about the future, then you will have accomplished. You know, you're on the right path of where you want to go, and that's
He doesn't
that's all
get a
that
break.
matters.
He doesn't get a break from me. He still owns the shittiest year I've ever seen
Oh
for
yeah,
University of Miami football. Okay,
oh yeah.
and I root for the guy. I believe in Mario 100%. I have never ever, you know, faltered on that or folded. I'm not flip flopping. I know he's going to get it done, but he ain't getting any breaks from this season. This season was bad, dude. God damn, this is
It
bad.
it it, it was really stinky. There's no question. There's no
Oh my
question.
God. Bad. That was bad. All right, so what's next? What do we know? What are we waiting for?
Well, we're waiting for Cormani. We'll see if he ends up signing now in the early signing period. I think the further this goes, the worse it is for Miami, because if he can start taking visits to Colorado and Alabama and all, then you open the door to potentially losing him. But at the same time, as I wrote in my column for the Athletic Wednesday afternoon, it doesn't change how good a class Mario has. They can get help in the transfer portal. They've obviously been looking in the transfer portal for cornerbacks. If he doesn't come, it stings for a little while. But you know, look, this is state of Florida produces a lot of really good DBs.
Yeah.
You can get yourself one in the next cycle. And oh, by the way, I like the kids that they got. They got Selwyn Brown. Do you remember Selwyn Brown, who played for
Owen Brown, that's
Saints
his
in
that's his
'83?
son.
Well,
That's Benny and the Jets.
Yes, Damari
Benny and the
Brown and
Jets, bro.
Devontae Brown.
Owen Brown, Tober Bain, Benny
Yeah,
Blades, and no, it wasn't Daryl Fullington. It was shit.
you got me stumped, brother, because it's many years ago and I got too many names in my head as far as who else it was. But badass group. Roland Smith was part of the, I think, for a little while too. When Roland Smith first
It
got
was
there.
Roland Smith. Roland
Yeah.
Smith was Benny and the
Okay.
Jets. Roland Smith
Okay.
was the fourth guy. Yes.
All right. Well, Selwyn's boys, okay, Damari and Devontae. Devontae's been a 3-year starter at UCF. Huge kid, 6'3", long arms, started 31 games for UCF. Really good for them. He's one of the transfers they got. So he'll come in and he'll help. And then Damari, who's his baby boy, 17 years
So
old.
UCF, by the way, UCF isn't in a challenge for a national title this year. You're losing Selwyn Brown.
Not losing his boy, correct. But both of those guys are here now. Those are two of the cornerbacks they got. So I'm not worried, dude. Like people can worry about, oh, you're losing Cormani McLean. If he's not part of this class, don't sweat it. Mario, I'm sure, is going to do a good job finding replacements.
Does Selwyn Brown feel like shit that now he's going to stop UCF from going after their 7th straight national title?
Not in the least, brother. He's happy his boys
Come
are
on,
home playing for the
Selwyn.
Canes.
That's not nice of you. You left UCF. They wanted to hang another banner, bro. What's wrong with you? Now, I'm paraphrasing. We'll wrap it up with this. So is Mario sure he didn't get any tweet monsters, right? Or whatever he called them. I forgot what he called them.
Yeah, tweet monsters is what he called them.
Was it tweet monsters? Tweet or something?
Yeah.
I forgot what he called them. But so is he? Did he go over their social media history that he doesn't have any tweet monsters?
I think he's trying to weed those guys out, man. I think so. Somebody told me the other day that head coaches now are looking to see what the parents are saying on social media, because if the parents are on there attacking the coaching staff and making things problematic. So I think Mario's learned his lesson, so to speak, after last year having some of those situations. I don't think he's taking any kids whose parents are going to be problems in that regard.
That's interesting. Isn't it interesting that now all these programs have maybe one or two people, I don't know, that they're just scouring and constantly following anything and everything social media that they tell them. Current players, recruits, coaches, your family members, all those kind of, and they've got to kind of be like, I don't know, social media sleuths to make sure that they get all the what's that called? All the connections to each player, the periphery, their parents, their loved ones or whatever, to make sure to see how that whole vicious cycle is in each person. My God, that's a hell of a job nowadays.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Well, that's why you say, well, why do college staff need all these people working there? Why do they need 500 people working? There's your answer right there.
Even one person could not keep up with everything on that. I bet you there's more than one person in that social media department that does all the game stuff. There's no way one person could keep up with 85 kids, right? It's 85, 90 kids, whatever. And then coaches and then all the other things that go around in the periphery of all of that. Oh my God.
Of course. Oh. It's too much. Mario's a maniac. I mean, imagine the head coaches who don't give a crap like Mario does. There's a lot of those guys. Mario's a maniac.
And those people that are doing that, they're carrying like all kinds of burner accounts to kind of keep up with all those kind of things. It's oh man, it's a lot of work behind it. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe, folks, because he does an excellent job. Canes are only going one way, and that's this way. So you want to follow the climb. You make sure you do it with Manny Navarro at The Athletic. Manny, as always, have a great weekend. Merry Christmas, my friend. We'll catch up next week.
Same to you, brother. Take care, man.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro, baby. And our Canes wear Miami Hurricanes report. Remember, they got anything and everything with a Canes logo on it. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So get there to caneswear.com. Check it out. You're going to love that place. That place is heaven. They've also got Dolphins gear, Heat gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear. Not only Hurricanes. They've got all kinds of gear, so check it out. Brett, Jeff, all the great people out there, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. It is your Canes wear Miami Hurricanes report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.